Listen Up! A Lesson in Listening for High School English Language Learners by Mika Strawhorn. Accurate listening comprehension is crucial for English language learners, especially for those who are planning to attend college in the United States. Aside from the day-to-day challenges of following instructions, socializing with peers, and communicating effectively with teachers and administration, students must also learn to follow and understand academic lectures, which often pose an increased challenge to English language learners. According to Celsa, Mercier, and Ulstein, quote, "Listening is the most frequently used language skill in everyday life," unquote. And most of what we listen to will be authentic, unscripted speech. However, authentic speech can pose serious challenges to comprehension. According to Huang, Chinese students may experience special difficulties in comprehending English since Chinese and English are non-cognate languages and therefore very different. Listening tasks can be daunting, but there are steps teachers can take to make the activity relevant and meaningful. Celsa, Mercier, and Ulstein call this strategy-based L2 listening. Before I present my lesson, here's some basic information about my students with whom I did this lesson with recently. My students are all Chinese, they are college-bound, and they attend a Catholic private high school in Oakland, California. The class has a mixed level of proficiency with some students being at high intermediate and some at low intermediate. All of my students have expressed difficulty in following academic lectures in school, and we have 8 international students at my school, and we meet twice a week. This listening lesson focuses on top-down strategies using authentic materials with the purpose of listening for content, following a narrative, and relating information to students' personal experiences. Students are given a handout with information about the context of the video and background information on some of the content. Students were often also given a list of questions to answer during and after listening. Students were advised to take notes during the listening. I stopped the video after the speaker's initial setup of her story and asked students to make predictions about what they thought the story would be about and what they thought the speaker's point of view might be. After listening to the entire story, we discussed the students' answers to the questions on the handout, and students discussed their overall reaction to the story. In an effort to provide relevant material for my students, here's a list of criteria I used when choosing the clip of audio that I did. The first step in the lesson is providing background information. Since I'd listened to the clip a number of times before choosing it, I was able to hunt out any areas of knowledge that my students may have been lacking. I also listened for examples of information that I thought my students would have knowledge of. One student had owned the video game mentioned in the story and was able to describe it to the class. All of my students were aware of Mao's Little Red Book and shared some of their knowledge with me. For step 2, I provided my students with a list of activity questions to complete while listening. Students were given the opportunity to review these before the listening began, and they were asked to pay special attention when they heard something related to one of the questions on the sheet. I played the first 43 seconds of the clip and stopped the video so students have time to make predictions. You can hear the introduction by clicking the play on the embedded audio clip here. I then rewound the clip back to the beginning and played it through while students listened and took notes. After the students finished listening to the story, we went over their answers to the activity questions. For the most part, the students were able to answer all the questions without too much trouble. The goals for the lesson were met. The students implemented multiple listening strategies, were very successful in their ability to recall specific information, decode vocabulary and context, and make convincing inferences. I let the students' answers guide our wrap-up conversation, and we ended up having a lively discussion about parental pressure, the generation gap, and the benefits of reading for pleasure. Thank you so much.
Hi, welcome to part 3. I'm going to show you a mini listening lesson. Listening lesson by song. Practicing listening in class can be a drag to students. Feeling out the missing words, making corrections, while listening over and over again is not going to make a class fun. Why not try something different? Songs provides a great teaching materials for students to easily remember the vocabulary and learn different tenses. It's entertaining and fun. I'm gonna focus on the top-down processing. The purpose is to activate prior knowledge and transfer L1 listening skill into English listening. My target students are high school ESL students. The benefits is for students easily grasp the ideas, increase listening ability, and easily memorize the vocabulary. What can you do with a song? There are 3 steps. Number 1, pre-listening. Pre-listening is more like brainstorming. We help students to think about a topic, make connection with prior knowledge. Step 2, while listening. While listening is more like working out. We help students to listen to a song several times and we put students into a discussion group. Clear the confusions, bring feedbacks. It's much more like a discussion. Last is post-listening. Post-listening is after listening to a song several times, students can start to work on the worksheet, complete the gaps with the words that are missing, and teacher can work on the evaluation. It's the best to use videos to show students why and what's in the song. Here's the song worksheet, Talking to the Moon by Bruno Mars. It shows how to import a vocabulary and verbs with a song.